everybody.
Good evening and welcome to Delight and Fright. I am Kat and above me is the lovely Luna. And we have a very special guest today, Ryan Bradley. He is author of Sade's Blood, Bad Connections Horror Stories. He's co-author of Dumb Bullshit for Brilliant Idiots, which I love that title. We'll get into that
Thank you.
later. And he's had short fiction published in No Sleep, Tales of To Terrify, Dark Moon, and Dark Moon Digest. And he's here to talk with us about his most recent work, Say Uncle. And he also is a podcaster with his co-host Cass Clark called Horror Hangover. So we're super
Ooh.
excited to get to learn all about Ryan.
Hey, how y'all doing? Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, of course, Ryan. And where are you joining us today?
I live in Georgetown, Texas, so a little north of Austin. And I should just tell everybody that we have some serious thunderstorms coming through, and sometimes we lose power during storms. But I do have my phone next to the computer, so my plan is to make a hotspot if that happens. I don't know how good the connection will be at that point, but I'm going to do everything I can to stay on as long as I can. And hopefully
Okay.
it just misses us. Sometimes they predict them and they don't hit.
Yeah. Mother Nature is so unpredictable. So definitely, if anything should ruin that magic for us, we'll kind of improv and take it from there.
Yeah,
And we'll
I
just,
let him know, Luna, that we're pros. We're good at filling gaps with childish nonsense. That's what we do here.
butt stuff or whatever the situation
Butt stuff.
calls
I
for.
love how your go-to is butt stuff. Like just
Butt
straight.
stuff.
Yeah.
Why get all the fluff when we can just say butt stuff?
That's right. Cinco de Mayo, we're preparing you for the butts, the stuff that's going to come out of the butt. With all this
Yes.
Cinco de Mayo deliciousness.
Avoid Taco Bell.
No.
That would be a good one to avoid if you don't want butt stuff. But anyways, moving away from that, that's cool. Austin's a fun place. I definitely love Austin. How was your week, Ryan and Kat?
It was good. Not really any complaints. The book came out on Tuesday. Say Uncle came out on Tuesday. So it's been like a whirlwind of trying to like keep up, post as much as I can in the social world and just do as many events as I can over the last like 9 or 10 weeks. And I have a 3-year-old and trying to like not be a shitty dad while I push the book as hard as I can.
Yes. Completely understandable.
Just have the 3-year-old on your shoulders holding the book. Bye. Come on. Help dad out.
I've been trying to train her at shows to say like, buy daddy's book. And she'll say it at home, but she will not say it when we actually get, when there's people who buy the book because she said it, she won't say it anymore.
Oh, the pressure.
Yeah. So we have a viewer that says, y'all are bringing the kind of excellent content we tune in for.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Always. 100% always the good content. We're doing the good work out here. How about you, Kat? Oh yeah, totally. How was your week?
Oh, it was good. I went to see Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, to see Anakin crybaby. I'm a birdie, but I'm gonna jump into your lightsaber because it's cool and Amidala she loses the will to live.
So
but I have a theory about that. I have a theory and I will share it with you all. Are you ready?
I also have a theory.
Okay. Anakin has been using the Force on her, which it's really not the Force because he's using it for evil. He's been dark siding her for a while now, like since they got married. Like, because you see her by the 3rd movie, she's just sitting there in a chair, pregnant, waiting for him to come home. She had goals. She had things to do. I think he just drained her. So yeah, once he turned, full asshole and was like, "Oh, I killed all those younglings." She was like, "No, I can't do that." It was okay when you killed all those sand people, but no, not the younglings. I'm not down with that. So she just, once he was out of her life, she just, that connection that he forced upon her for years and years was just disconnected. So she just didn't know who she was anymore. I think that's what happened to her.
So like kind of like stiff gaslighting.
Total emotional, emotional abuse, but like force abuse. Like you think it's hard.
He was a dark side.
Yeah.
I think he was a dark side narcissist because he had those characteristics. But let me ask you guys a question. Now it's about to be May 4th, so let's before we get into the nitty-gritty of Ryan, let's since we're Star Wars nerds up in here, as well as horror nerds, do you think Anakin Skywalker would have gone batshit crazy if he was granted the rank of Jedi Master by the Jedi Council?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
You think he would have gone batshit crazy still?
Because
he
was sorry, Ryan. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think, like Kat said, I think he would have gone batshit, but I think it would have been a different kind of batshit. It'd have been like more, because he'd have more authority and more power. So he'd still lose it eventually. I think it would take a little longer, and he would abuse his power more before he went all the way off the deep end.
What about you, Kat?
I think so. I was wondering if I understand why Obi-Wan left him there. Like, this was his brother, this was his friend. He couldn't even stand to look at him in that condition. And then when he started on fire, he thought he was dead, right? I was talking with my husband. I'm like wondering, what if the Emperor hadn't got to him? What if he would have taken him with them? Would things have been different? That's kind of what I was wondering. But yeah, the Emperor started his influence on him very early on. That's why he started separating him from Obi-Wan, because when he was with Obi-Wan, he knew he had, he was connected to the Force. He was connected to Obi-Wan. And then, like he said, the jealousy. And then when he's like, oh, jealous of Obi talking to his wife, like, seriously? It's like, this is why you're not supposed to have these ties with people, especially this strong, because if you think something's going to happen or somebody else, they trust somebody else more. Well, yeah, you're killing younglings. Like, she's gonna trust him more. I mean, you turned her against me. But yeah.
I mean, pretty much sci-fi. It was a sci-fi chef's kiss. The only thing I do regret about that episode is some of the deaths were too quick and too, I don't feel like they did the characters any justice, because they were such a high-ranking people, and it's like, I'm like, what? We didn't even get a cool battle. We don't get any sort of coolness. It's just like, bye.
Yeah, bye, Samuel L. You just go floating off and bye.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? He deserved better. Come on now. But Chris says all he had to do was listen to the Force, which told him Amidala was going to die if he kept messing up, and then showed him Obi helping. Yeah,
he should have went to Obi-Wan for help.
I've actually seen Clone Wars. I just finished it. It filled a lot of the background, the satisfaction Anakin had against the Jedi and the Republic. He had a lot of momentum pulling away from lawful goodness. Yes. I loved Clone Wars. I honestly did not like episode 1, 2, and 3. And then I watched Clone Wars and I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with this, because it was the glue that kind of held the shit pie together. So that's how I felt about it. So I enjoyed it, and it kind of made it a little more cohesive. So speaking of cohesive, Sorry, Ryan. That was a big
No problem.
way to introduce you there.
Quite a
But
tangent.
yeah, but Star Wars, we got to do it. It's almost
Yeah,
May the 4th, so and as a fellow nerd, I hope you understand.
I do. I do.
So, tell us about Say Uncle. What's going on with that?
So, Say Uncle is my first novel. It's the story of Braden. He's a 15-year-old boy growing up in Connecticut, and his uncle moves in and takes his bedroom, and Braden sneaks back in to steal his favorite nudie magazine. And where the nudie magazine is, he finds his uncle has hidden a black magic book, and things kind of get worse from there. We pitched it as Uncle Buck meets Hellraiser.
Ooh.
Nice. And of course, he has to read out the book out loud, right? Everybody does that. It's just like maybe the books have like a curse as well that makes you, feel the need to read them out loud. Is that it?
I think there's got to be, like, in the Evil Dead universe, there's got to be a reason. Because I think, like, in the Fede Alvarez one, there's just like the guy doesn't speak Latin. He has to take it out of the barbed wire. Like, the number of things he has to do to read that book in that movie is just astonishing.
That's so true. So, what else can we expect from this book? What some of the things that you can talk about? Not spoilers per se, but some I don't know. Some
So you can
stuff,
expect, like,
sprinkles.
I would say it opens up like a Hitchcock almost, with Braden and Uncle Polly. That's the uncle that moves in, playing like kind of cat and mouse game, where Braden is trying to like figure out, why does Uncle Polly have this book? And then you'll see like some dysfunctional family stuff with Braden growing up, and you'll see Uncle Polly trying to like help him with that stuff. And so he's kind of like, at least in the first act, like a character where I'm hoping you don't know if he's sympathetic or not, Uncle Polly. And you'll kind of find out how it goes. And then it ramps up from there and gets more like traditionally horrific as it keeps going and going. I mean, people have said it's funny. I always try to write stuff that has, like, I would call it like organic humor. So not like Looney Tunes, but like the way people talk to each other, I think is almost always very funny, even in bad situations. So I try to capture that in my writing.
Oh, I see. And what if you would have to put Say Uncle in a genre, whether it's fantasy horror, where would you fantasy horror, I know. Probably not going to be fantasy horror, but where would you put it?
Definitely horror. Like, I would put it solidly in horror. I could not tell you the subgenre, because I think one of the other things I try to do in my writing is like, I don't know if y'all have seen Q the Winged Serpent, the Larry Cohen movie.
Yes.
Mhm.
Love it.
I love that movie because there's this like feeling like at any moment anything could happen. We could go into like a romance film and you'd be like, yeah, this is how Q the Winged Serpent goes. And I want that feeling in my work. And so Say Uncle
Nice.
definitely hops between genres. Like, I think you have like the horror elements, you have the suspense elements, you have some occult stuff, you have some family drama, and you have some teen romance in there as well.
Ooh,
So a lot
a
going
little
on.
bit of everything. I love
Yes.
that. You sprinkled in a little bit
That's
of everything.
why American Werewolf in London is my favorite horror movie, because it's like that. It's got everything. You don't know where it's going. It's got the humor, the wittiness, and so that sounds definitely up our alley.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's definitely one of like the things I'm shooting for in all my books, is like to feel like an American Werewolf in London. I don't think I'll ever make anything that good, because that's like obviously a benchmark film, but it'd be great if I could. Gonna keep
Aw.
trying.
So tell us a little bit about your process, Ryan. How do you do like a typical writing day? And I'm sure you have a full-time job as well. How do you kind of maneuver everything?
So I mean, I have a 3-year-old, and that's like honestly the biggest challenge, is like balancing like being a dad and having a writing career. 'Cause my main gig is teaching guitar lessons, which I do at nights. So mornings, my kid goes to preschool, and I'll write then when I can. Then afternoons, I have her from like 12 to 6, 12 to 7. Then I cook dinner. I go upstairs and start teaching guitar lessons most days. So like it's busy, but it's all doable. And I always remind myself, like, if this is what you want out of life, you have to do it. If you want to write, you just have to do it. and not every day, and not to the point of like, I know there's the toxic, what do they call it? Toxic. The idea that you have to write every day gets toxic for some people, and because they get upset that they're not writing and all of that. I try to eschew all of that, but I write when I have the time and the emotional and physical energy to do so. But a lot of it's just reminding myself, this is what I want out of life. So if it's time to do it.
Awesome. I love that. But that's, you mentioned that it's emotionally taxing because it is. You get very involved with the characters that you create. I mean, I've been writing something before and I break out in tears because of something that happened to my character. So that's just that raw emotion. It is very emotional, and that's how you get the best work is giving of yourself. It's taxing.
Absolutely. And Dinty Moore has that great line, no tears for the writer, no tears for the reader.
Yeah, that is very true. Chris wrote, well, just remember Steven Spielberg saw the original THX 1138, is it? And thought that he would
11:30.
never 1138 and thought he would never make a better movie than that. Ooh.
Thank you, Christopher.
Yay. The
Aw.
motivation.
Yeah, we always love all of our support out here doing the good work and cheering on all of us. Love that. So tell us, Ryan, how did Say Uncle compare to some of your previous work that you've done?
I would say Uncle has more of more family stuff in it, more family storyline, and it's most of my work is not with younger narrators. So this is the first time I've really done that and published it outside of one or two short stories. So that's like a huge difference. I think the humor and like the blend of like humor and gross out gore is in every book. I would say like Saint's Blood is probably, well, if I describe it, Say Uncle is probably like Shooting for Ready or Not, but with like an A24 kind of monstrous metaphor thing going on. Saint's Blood was more of like trying to shoot for like a Saw kind of thing with a lot of torture and imprisonment. And Bad Connections, I would say, is probably the most serious of my books. And it's a short story collection, but it kind of runs the gamut with the kind of stuff you'll see. And then Dumb Bullshit for Brilliant Idiots is just trying to be funny. Me and three friends wrote that one together. So that one is all fun pieces for the most part.
I love that because that's I tease with my husband because sometimes that's how he is. He's brilliant, but sometimes he just does silly things, just not thinking. So that just it just resonates with me. That title just kind of cracks me up, and at the same time, it's endearing, because I love my geeky little husband. He's my babe.
Thank you. Yeah, my friend John, who published it, we had 4 co-authors on that. We used to do a comedy show in Austin called The Ghoulish Show. It was like a horror comedy show we do at a bar once a month. And when that closed down, we decided we wanted to do a book with all our favorite pieces. And John sent the cover to Andrew. If you've seen the cover, it's like MS Paint. It's a baby riding a toilet down a highway. At least in MS Paint. It's ridiculous.
Nice.
But John said something like, you need to make a cover for this dumb bullshit. And Andrew said, is that the title of the book? And that's how they came up with the title.
Nice.
I love that. So I know that when you're a writer, there's a particular genres that you love writing, and you can think about stories and stuff for days. Personally, if I was a writer, I would absolutely not be able to write anything about romance or drama or anything like that. What is one of the one of the genres that you kind of struggle with?
I mean, not a genre. I can't really do happy endings. I look at the world around me, look at everything happening in the news and with my family, and I'm like, oh, we don't really have many happy endings coming.
We don't deserve a happy ending.
You guys don't deserve a happy ending.
And I went to like my MFA program was in literary fiction. And so I wrote that for the 3 years I was there and pretty much the 4 years I was in college. So it was 7 years of that. And like, I think I could probably still do it, but I don't really want to again. Maybe I will one day, but I don't see a world where I'm going to want to write like a sad novel realistically written about like a 40-year-old man getting divorced or something like that.
Yes. Oh my God. I totally concur. I find stuff like that so dull and boring. And when I read stuff or watch movies or do anything of the sort, I want to be able to explore a universe where I currently don't live in. I don't want to deal with divorces. I don't want to deal with problems or, oh my God, this husband and wife have financial problems and now I have to think about it and now I'm thinking about my own problems and
Yeah.
it's kind of a little too much for me personally. I'd rather think about like a spaceship and it's out of fuel and there's these aliens and you know what I mean? Something that is completely outside of myself where I get
Yeah.
to just explore really the characters and not worry about my problems, my finances, just kind of explore another world. So I do really enjoy when a writer can take me there and take me outside my problems. So thank you to everybody
Yeah.
that writes cool stuff.
Like
'Cause
your
fuck
comfy
humans.
blanket.
Yeah, yeah, like my comfy blanket about aliens
Well,
fucking
well,
shit
well
up.
me, I read my horror so I could read about somebody who's having a worse day than I am. It's like, oh, at least I'm not this person.
Yeah. So there's different kinds of readers.
Sure.
Ryan, that's a great kind of question that popped in my head. What kind of reader are you?
I read constantly. Like I listen to audiobooks. So like when I'm running, I'm a big runner, so I run all the time. But I listen to audiobooks when I do that. When I'm driving the car, when I'm walking the dog, when I'm washing dishes or cooking dinner, I'm basically always listening to an audiobook. And I'll listen to a good amount of horror, but I still read literary fiction. It's like I mentioned, I don't write it anymore, but I do appreciate the artistry and the craft of the thing. I read mysteries, romance. I read nonfiction. I try to read a little bit of everything because I want to be able to do whatever a story requires of me. I want to be able to do it well. And so I think in order to do that, I need to be exposed to all of this stuff, even if it's not like my number one choice for thing. I would be at the beach one day, you know? I just try to read everything.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Spending your horizons so you're able to, when the situation calls for it, you're able to kind of pull from that.
Yeah, exactly. I always want to have like a reference point if I'm going to try something new.
And that's the thing about horror. It has aspects of everything really in it. So you're smart to keep up on the drama and everything else so that you can intertwine that yet with the aspect of the horror.
Yes. That's a good point there. I didn't think about that. That's really good because if you all you read is horror and you want to develop a character that has more dynamic features or has some sort of personality conflict with a parent or something, you kind of won't have a you'll kind of have an understanding, but you won't be exposed to so much literacy about it that you might struggle and not have kind of like an idea of where you might want to take a certain character. Where did you get the idea for Say Uncle? Like what kind of inspired that?
There's a couple things. I started writing it. I watched the Chernobyl series on HBO. I don't know if y'all have seen that. It's great.
I
But
have.
yeah,
really
I
good.
finished writing that, and there's this like aspect of like I don't know if it's quite the cone of silence in the show, but there's this aspect of like they're going to the like they're testing all these places of radiation with this Geiger counter, and they're like, it goes this far, and it's like very at the end, and they're like, oh, that's as high as the radiation can go. And like that idea very much upset me, and the idea of like not being able to talk about like horrible things that are happening accurately and honestly. And I went home and I started writing the book pretty much as soon as we finished it. So that was one big inspiration, that idea of like silence and being unable to talk about the things that are happening. especially related to like family life and toxic masculinity. Another big influence was that in 2014, I read this article about this book in the Harvard Library that was bound in human skin. And I kind of carried that idea to like, I think I started writing Say Uncle in 2020, but I carried that like idea of the book bound in human skin till then. And I had Uncle Paulie in Braden's room, and I was like, okay, but what is Braden going to find when he goes in there? And I remembered there's this book in Harvard that's bound in human skin. And I was like, that's got to be there. That's got to be in it. And those are like the two biggest fictional things. And I draw from life a lot, obviously, too. And just trying to, I think writing about being 15, like part of it was like, here's the things that hurt me when I was 15. And part of it was like, here are the parts that were so much fun about being 15 and just like going to your buddy's house and just swearing at each other for 2 hours.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
You made me
Yeah.
think when you mentioned the book bound in human skin of, have you seen the Pillow Book with Ewan McGregor? Speaking of Star Wars Day coming up.
I don't think so. You said the Pillow Book?
The Pillow Book, like
A
a
pillow book. Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah,
I've not seen that.
it's a really amazing film. It's a drama though, but it's
Okay.
about this woman who her fetish is writing on human skin.
Oh,
And
wow.
and that's how she, does all her books, and of course people are crazed. They want more of her work. And then something terrible happens and she ends up making a book of skin.
Oh man, I gotta
Yeah.
see. That sounds awesome.
It's a really good movie.
It
And then
sounds fucked up.
yeah,
Right?
yeah. But it's weird. And then there's a series called Dark. Have you ever heard of that?
Is it
It's
on Netflix? It's German?
yes,
I haven't
yes.
seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's time
Ooh.
travel, and it kind of gives me that Chernobyl type
Yeah.
feeling. So I think you'd really like it. So definitely, I had to have like a notebook to like keep
Yeah.
track of like all the characters and all the timelines and things, but it was well worth it because it was a great show.
Nice. I'll have to check it out. We canceled our Netflix subscription, so I'm gonna have to get it back one day. After they canceled Archive 81 and they booted me off my friend's Netflix, I was like, I can't pay for this. Archive 81 was so good.
It was. I loved that show. It was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, they're doing some weird stuff where like you can't share accounts, and it's like it boots you out and it says, "Are you traveling?" and you got to get this code, but then your friend can't use it on their place, and it's a whole mess.
Yeah, it was when
Yeah.
they started doing that, I was just like, well, you don't put out that many actually good shows and you cancel them all. I don't know if you all saw like that. I think it was Variety or Vulture had an article about how Netflix was also, because they'll front load the contract. So like the first year the showrunner gets like 150,000. The second year they get 200,000. The third season they get like 750. The fourth season they get 1.5 million. And then Netflix gets everyone on these contracts and they stop all the shows after 2 seasons.
Ugh,
So no one ever actually gets the money they're promised, basically.
that sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awful.
That's why I love Shudder. I love Shudder
Shudder's
for
best.
all my horror.
I will say the only thing that I'm looking forward to that's coming out on Netflix is Wednesday. And I might subscribe for a month, binge it, and then cancel.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way to roll, or find it
Absolutely.
somewhere else, or buy a DVD, have that actual media.
Oh, actual media is really good.
The best.
The best. So, Ryan, what are some of your projects that you're able to talk about that you're working on in the future?
I have a short story anthology called Gabagool, called Safe House, which is coming out. It's an anthology of mafia-themed horror. That's coming out from October Nights Press pretty soon. And I have another story. My story in Safe House is it's more voiced than the story, but it's about a guy trying to join the mafia and things go very badly for him.
Oh,
And then I have another story, and it's Myths Reborn, also from October Nights Press, coming out. I'm not sure when that one comes out, called Night Hike, about a boy who is similar age to Brayden, and he's hiking across this camp while there's a mountain lion on the loose to get a cake.
He's trying to get a cake?
Yeah, he has to go to the mess hall to get a cake because it's in one of the other campers' birthdays. And he tells the person who's supposed to come with him to stay, just play a Game Boy, because he's very upset because his sister has cancer and he wants to be alone while he cries. And he goes to get this cake. Got those two coming out. I've got more books I'm working on, but I don't like to talk about them too much before I have a contract signed.
Yes. Do not.
For business reasons, yeah. So I can't talk too much about those. Sorry.
Yeah. But except for the stuff that you know is coming out, you have a date set up, and oh man, but we would love to talk to you in the future when you do have some of those newer projects, because it's been so enjoyable being able to talk with you. Our viewer does ask, what's Archive 81? I have no idea how to answer that because I've never seen it. Anybody want to?
It was this like incredible analog media show where this guy like went around finding tapes in this haunted apartment building, and it was just wonderful. And he had to like do like all this physical research in archives. Archive 81 was the archive where like the fucked up shit happened in his building. It ended on a cliffhanger, and they canceled it. And I'm still mad at them. I'm not going to stop being mad because it was so good.
Yes. Write us the ending, Ryan. Write us what happens.
Right?
Oh, no. That's the worst. And there's nothing, like no book or nothing being released to continue the arc?
So. I think Netflix owns the intellectual rights to it. So I don't think anyone can do a project with it.
Damn it.
Yep. That's the risk you pay with distribution. They can own your shit, and then, you know, as we know, Luna, from our indie horror friends, and
oh yeah, they've had some bad things happen to them because, you know, promises, and then those promises, the big man takes all the money, and we own the title because you didn't read, or maybe, you know, the contract went south, and there's not much you can do. Especially if you don't have the money to back you.
Yeah, I think even with a good entertainment lawyer, you still get got like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if you're not a lawyer, there's no way you're going to not get got if you're not a lawyer.
Exactly. It's very sad too to see, you know, because some of our friends had hopes and dreams about their media, and yeah, they got stiffed. So always sending happy vibes to all of our friends in the indie space. I know it's very hard, and I know there's a lot of very predatory scumbags that want to make a quick buck out of you, and always sending out positive vibes. Always read your contract in great detail. If you don't understand something, just say, I need more time to look this over with my lawyer. Always make sure you have somebody that has your best interest in mind backing you up on those legal documents.
Absolutely. And if you're a writer, remember the money always flows towards you. You don't pay a press to edit. You don't pay a press just publishing you to publish. They give you money. You don't give them money.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that happening as well. It's so rough in the indie space, you know, because people want their stuff to be known, and it's like, if I throw you this couple grand, that means you'll publish me. You know, it's
those places are so crazy. They charge like $40 a book too, and it's like paperback books, and it's like, you paid $5,000 and they're going to charge $40 for a paperback now. That's wild. You're never going to make that $5,000 back. They're just going to take a big cut of the book too. It's crazy.
It's really sad and tragic what some friends and indie people have to go through, and you know, we're always on your side. We don't know any lawyers, but we can, always send something your way. If you need help, we can always try to find network resources if anybody, wants to talk to us. We're always down to listen. If anything, you can come on the show and
Yeah.
bitch about what happened to you, and then we
Yeah.
can commiserate
Well,
and
we'll
have a
set
good
up our
time.
little Peanuts Lucy stand with the 5 cents.
Aw,
So we can vent together.
definitely. That sounds like a good time.
Oh, but I got good news.
Ooh, what is
Yeah.
the good news?
Saturday, free comic book day.
Oh,
Oh,
yes, it is.
nice.
Yes. Get
Yes,
your
it
free
is.
comic. You'll see me cosplay to something. I'm not sure yet, but I'll be out and about it in line at 9 a.m. hanging out with my fellow friends.
Nice. Oh, I kind of love that. Free comic book day is always a lot of fun, a lot of good deals, and you'll find something worth to add to the collection.
My kid is like finally old enough to really enjoy that kind of stuff too. This will be like the first free comic book day where she can like actually look at the pictures by herself and like kind of
Aw.
understand it. I'm excited for her. She's gonna love
Aw,
it.
that sounds so cute. And it'll be your first father-daughter comic book day outing.
Well, we've done a couple, but she's old enough to like enjoy it now.
Oh, okay.
Like, she
Well,
was
yeah.
2 last year, and it was a
Oh,
mess. Just screaming the whole time.
oh,
I was screaming too for different reasons, but
oh, yeah. Clearly, I would be right there screaming along with you. So, we have something to share with you guys really quick before we start wrapping things up. I know time has flown by. It's been almost 40 minutes since we've been chit-chatting and having a wonderful time. So this is Ryan's website. You can check it out. Go to Ryan C. Bradley blog. And then you can look at his stuff. He's got all his publishings, links, where to buy them. You can even get a free preview. That's really nice. You can read about him. You can read the publications that he has. Ooh, publications. You can also join his Patreon. There's a lot of wonderful things that he has on here that you can read all about. And obviously, Say Uncle. He's got a nice little thing you can read on here, a vlog about that. So yeah, come hang out with him and send him some support. Buy some of his books. Read it. Email him what you thought about it.
yes,
If you
please
loved
do.
it, maybe he can publish read my reviews. I'm sure those are
thank
fun.
you. Please check them out. My Patreon's also a good time. I do like weird, like I think you should leave with Tim Robinson meets the Twilight Zone kind of stories. Where I
Oh,
perform them and score them with music. It's a lot of fun. So people who sign up tend to like it. It's $3 a month just for the stories.
Oh, and you read them?
Yeah, I like perform them. So it's more
Ooh.
trying to act. I have fun. I can do angry really well. I pretend to be angry really well.
That's I'm sure your kids love that when angry dad's like, "Oh God, better be on my best behavior."
Oh my gosh, she was shaking the sunscreen, and she didn't have her hand underneath it. It was spraying everywhere. I was like, "What are you doing?" She cried for like 20 minutes. It's the worst. I felt so terrible. I don't want to make her cry. She had to stop putting sunscreen on the floor. The floor's not going outside.
Oh.
Yeah, I work at the airport, so we hear a lot of babies crying, and people are always like, why do they cry like so much? But you have to think about it. It's whatever happened is the worst thing that's ever happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, of course, it just sucks
Yeah.
when you get the 18-year-old teenager that's crying about her Victoria's Secret lotion that's too big, and it's sad that that's the worst thing that's ever happened to her.
Yeah. Yes. Should have brought below 3 ounces, girl. Should have brought that 3 ounces, have your real ID, all that. I just get it all. Get it all. If it doesn't have the TSA approved thingy, don't bring it. Just don't bring it. Just fuck it. Don't bring it. Oh, and one thing that I learned from Kat, you can bring frozen water bottles.
Huh.
It's got to be frozen.
Gotta be frozen. If you have a frozen water
And it's
bottle,
easier if you leave it out so we can see that it's frozen, because then we
Yeah.
know you can't freeze things that go boom. So, yeah.
yeah.
If there's like a long line and the water bottle starts melting, like what point is it like
Oh, you
too
can
much
done
water, too
Still,
much ice?
if we can tell it's cold and there's like a chunk of ice in
Okay.
it, it's yeah.
what I did when I went through TSA, I just said, fuck it. And I just like, you know how there was a little tiny bit of water at the bottom? I just like dumped that in the liquid section. I'm like, the rest is good. It's
Mhm.
frozen
Gotcha.
solid. It was frozen solid, so there was no problem. And I'm like, and then some guy looked at me, you can't bring that water bottle. I'm like, watch me. I gave him the big smile. I was like, watch me.
Oh,
I
man.
give him that evil grin. And then when I pass through, I'm like, bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Just flip him the bird. Bye.
You'd be a terrible TSA pre-check. Oh my god. You'd be such a pain.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
I pre-check. I pre-check.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, the dude scolding me wasn't a worker. It was a passenger. That's why I was like, bye. I got through with my water bottle
Nice.
frozen just
Mhm.
fine.
Mhm. What do I know?
What do I know? It's not like I've done this before because of my friend that happens to work there.
It's my job to know, and they still don't believe that I know what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, it's just my job, but yeah, what do I know?
You know more than
It's-
me,
It
clearly.
can't
You
go. Whatever you
frequent
want to do
flyers.
with it, I don't care. But
Right. Oh my god.
but
Well,
thank God
that
spring break's over. Thank God.
yes. Resume business as normal. Oh, just wait for the summer.
It's
The
right around
summer
the corner.
passengers. You get some time of respite right now.
Yeah.
Respite until
Speaking of, what do we got coming up for us, Luna? Do we have anything booked? I don't think I saw anything.
not officially. We got
Okay.
we got a couple of emails of participants that want to talk about their books, their movies, directors, producers of the likes. Nobody that said sign me up for this day and this time yet. However, I was thinking maybe we can do a review of The Lady in the Yard.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that in the theater. It was really, I saw it like late at night, and I was the only one in the theater. And yeah, I left and it was like midnight and nobody's around. And I'm like, I'm driving on the road all by myself, and a car passes me. I'm like, oh, that's a car. Yeah, they're supposed to be on the road.
Yes. I think that was a
I think
very
you'll like it because it's a psychological horror, like you like. Luna.
I love psychological horrors. They make me think a lot after. I love that. Love that. Spending that energy on something productive like horror movies. Gotta love it. Well, Ryan, I hope you have fantastic endeavors with, everything that you're doing. I know you have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Stay busy, stay motivated with your 3-year-old and everything else that you got going on. We stick around after the show, and yeah, I hope you guys had a great night, and we will
Thank
see you
Yeah.
next week.
Bye.
Thank you for having me
Bye.
on.
Thank you for
Of
joining us.
course, thank you. See you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
Hello, boils and ghouls. It's your old pal, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And I want to thank you for listening to Delight and Fright with your hosts, Luna and Cat, a podcast for outcasts.